Welcome back, folks. I am Graham G.S. Matthews. This is WrestleRant, where I break down all the pay-per-views that I watch on the WWE Network. And all May long, we're talking about every installment in WWE Vengeance history. Today, we're talking about Vengeance 2003. Opening the event, without further ado, for the United States Championship. The first ever WWE United States Champion, might I add. Eddie Guerrero versus Chris Benoit. The same two guys who tag teamed together against the Dudley Boys 1 year earlier at Vengeance 2002, so a great dynamic there. Of course, that was not mentioned on commentary, nor was it really necessary for it to have been mentioned, but I thought it was a cool little note that I thought I should bring up. But the match itself was great. I mean, as you can only really expect from Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit. Eddie was a great heel. Benoit really had the crowd behind him. Some awesome wrestling here. And for an undercard match in the opening slot, it got a lot of time at almost 25 minutes. A lot of time here. These guys made the most of it. The finish I thought was well done too. Not a clean finish, but Rhino comes in, who is a well-established best friend of Chris Benoit. He comes in and attacks Benoit, goes heel on him, helps Eddie win to become the new and first WWE United States Champion. All new belt design. It was pretty damn cool too. I love that belt design, by the way. I love the Star Spangled Prize so much, but great match. I mean, I really can't hate on the finish because it did set up for a fun little four-way for SummerSlam between Rhino, Eddie, Benoit, and Tajiri for some reason. I don't know how Tajiri got involved, but he did, and it led to that fatal four-way at SummerSlam for the United States Championship. But here, fucking phenomenal match. Great storytelling with Rhino and Benoit. Nice little swerve there. Newsworthy moment. New for, first ever inaugural WWE US Champion. So awesome stuff all around. A great way to kick off the night. And by the way, I forgot to mention, this was a SmackDown exclusive pay-per-view. This was around the time they were still doing those shows, so this was a SmackDown-only show. After that, we had Jamie Noble taking on Billy Gunn. So the whole thing here was that Billy Gunn was beating the shit out of Jamie Noble every single week, and he's like, I just want one more chance with you, Tor. If I could beat Billy Gunn, I just want one more chance with him. I want one more chance with you. If I get one more chance in a match with him, I can beat him and prove I want to be with you. And then she takes the mic and says this. She goes, hey, Jamie, if you can beat Billy Gunn to the next pay-per-view, I will sleep with you. And he goes, I accept. I'll take the match. So, of course, you had to know the shenanigans were going to ensue. So I love the fact there was a stipulation attached to this, because otherwise I probably would not have cared. And I'll talk about Jamie Noble after I'm done talking about the match. The match itself was fun. For the 5 minutes it was given, the match itself was not amazing, but it wasn't a great wrestling match. But there was just so many factors with Tori Wilson trying to help, Billy win, Nydia coming down and almost costing Jamie the win, because obviously they're still together at this point. He doesn't, she doesn't want him to sleep with Tori Wilson. She's obviously jealous. So there's a lot of storytelling with the whole love, I was going to say triangle, but love, square almost, with Billy Gunn involved too. So just a lot of crazy shit, basic storytelling in sports entertainment at its best. I thought it was great. So in the end, Jamie Noble, he rolls up Billy Gunn after pushing him into Tori Wilson on the apron. He scores the victory. So he gets the chance to sleep with Tori that Thursday night on SmackDown. I have no idea what happened after this. I'm going to have to go back and watch it, because I believe all the episodes of SmackDown from 03 are on the network. So I have to watch this to see how this played out. But this was really, really fun. And it really struck with me. It really struck me during this matchup how great Jamie Noble is. And I never really saw many or much of his Ring of Honor work, where he had some great matches over there. But just in thinking of the longevity that he had in WWE, kind of like that generation's, Crash Holly, almost in a way, but even a better wrestler and a better gimmick. He was kind of like a cornerstone of the SmackDown brand. I mean, a lot of people say, oh, Taker was SmackDown, The Rock was SmackDown, John Cena was SmackDown, Edge was SmackDown. Jamie Noble is really an unsung hero of the SmackDown brand, having been there for the Cruiserweight division days, for entertaining stories like this, being in entertaining tag teams. Like, he was there for a lot of shit, with including with Kid Cash at one point too. So they had a lot of great stuff going on with Jamie Noble throughout his SmackDown tenure. When he got moved to Raw, he was pretty much done. But beyond that, when he was on SmackDown from 2002, I would say until maybe 2007, 2008 even, he was really entertaining. I remember even when I got into wrestling in 2008, he was still pretty damn fun on the Raw brand for a little bit when he was trying to chase, Layla. And that was the best Jamie Noble, when he was chasing women like Nydia, Tori Wilson, Kelly, Layla, whoever it is. That was when he was at his best. But anyway, so fun stuff there is what I'm trying to say. Speaking of fun, after that we had the APA Invitational Barroom Brawl. So the combatants included, according to Wikipedia, Bradshaw, Shannon Moore, Doink the Clown, Farouk, Brother Love, Nunzio, Matt Hardy, Danny Basham, Doug Basham, the Easter Bunny, yes, you heard that right, Sean O'Hare, John Hennigan, Orlando Jordan, Funaki, Conquistador Uno, Conquistador Dos, The Brooklyn Brawler, that was my New York accent, the Brooklyn Brawler, Johnny Stamboli, Chuck Palumbo, Matt Copielli, Matt Capitelli, I don't know, one of the members of the FBI, Spanky, and Canyon. That's a lot of guys, a lot of random characters, as you can tell from the inclusion of the Easter Bunny. But this was fun. Really served no purpose, but it was just stupid, silly fun. And in the end, Bradshaw scored the victory as only he could. I don't know why, or Farouk was in it. He did lose, but he helped Bradshaw celebrate afterwards, which was weird. But it was fun. The last man standing would win the Brawler Room Brawl, and then in the end, it was Bradshaw tossing the Easter Bunny through through like a window or something in that little makeshift barroom brawl set. Great shit. I don't know. This was really just kind of fun. I don't really know why they needed to have like the Sable and Stephanie match and Vince versus Zach Gowen when they could have just included half the guys that were in this match, like Matt Hardy, Sean O'Hare, who was really on the downfall at that point, but still they could have done more with him. But just fun, stupid shit, even if it didn't mean anything. After that, for the WWE Tag Team titles, the world's greatest tag team, Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Haas, defending the gold against Rey Mysterio and Billy Kidman in a fucking phenomenal match. I mean, you don't need me to tell you the world's greatest tag team was a great goddamn tag team, and they cut them short way too soon. They would reunite them like 6 times over the next 10 years in WWE, Ring of Honor, whatever. But these guys are really, really underrated as a tandem, and I thought they broke them up way too soon in 2004. Rey Mysterio and Billy Kidman were not really together for a long time as a tag team from what I can remember. This was one of the few pay-per-view matches, if only pay-per-view match they had as a team. But I thought it was really, really fun. The one near fall at the end was very well done. I think Rey Mysterio got like the 619, dropping the dime. And I don't know if the other member of the world's greatest tag team broke it up or the guy kicked out. I forgot what the exact spot was. But what I do remember is that when it only came down to a 2 count, the arena exploded in boos, in a chorus of boos, because they legitimately thought that Mysterio had the match won. They were pissed. And then when the world's greatest tag team won, ultimately went over and won retained the championships rather, again, they were pissed. And that's not because the match sucked or because it was the wrong booking decision. It was because they had him hook, line, and sinker with that near fall, and they really thought they would win. It reminded me a lot of Enzo and Cass versus the Revival from London a couple months ago, back in December, when I thought Enzo and Cass had the match won, when Enzo went flying Enzo, 1, 2, and then the other member of the Mechanics, Dash and Dawson, the Revival, whatever, they pulled Enzo out of the ring. I'm like, oh, fuck, and in the end, they ended up winning and retaining the title. So that was a lot like this match. Really, really good match. Great near fall. Phenomenal near fall even. And that finish was phenomenal too. So great tag team match. And I mean, that really comes as no surprise, no pun intended, from the world's greatest tag team. And then we get to a match that was not so great between Sable and Stephanie McMahon. These two in the midst of a feud, and the match sucked. I mean, obviously, and they try to beat up on each other, and it's just, whenever we got these women feuds on SmackDown, they just sucked. Whether it was Tori Wilson and Dawn Marie, Sable and Stephanie, because there was no women's championship to vie for, so they just had feuds. And I'm glad they had storylines, but Sable's return to the company was a massive waste of time. She was still hot as hell, and you can't teach that, but she did nothing. She did nothing on SmackDown for the year or two that she was there. I heard that she was a bitch backstage, and she just really wasn't that pleasant to work with. I mean, I guess if she didn't come back, she would have met her now husband, Brock Lesnar, so I guess it really had its benefit in that respect, but really, other than that, storyline-wise, her return served no purpose, and this match was just terrible. A-Train got involved, cost Stephanie the victory, and that would lead to Stephanie feuding with Vince, her father, unfortunately, over the next couple of months. But yeah, the match sucked, and thankfully it was only 6 minutes long. After that, we had The Undertaker taking on John Cena. Yes, John Cena versus The Undertaker, but not the John Cena that we know and love, and I say that sarcastically, in 2016. The upstart John Cena, the basic thugonomics, the disrespectful version of John Cena, who was really not having any of it against the legends. He would disrespect Kurt Angle, he disrespected Brock Lesnar, and having great pay-per-view matches with all of these men. And Undertaker was no exception, showing him disrespect, having a great outing here, even in defeat, looking very, very strong at one point, hitting the FU on The Undertaker, Undertaker kicking out at 2. In the end, falling victim, I believe, to the last ride, and that was what would do John Cena in and grant Undertaker the victory. And kind of a small dose, a small taste of what we can expect, hopefully, at WrestleMania 33. I'm still really waiting on bated breath to see that match. I was really hoping to see it this year. Of course, Cena got hurt. If not at SummerSlam, then hopefully at WrestleMania next year, because I feel like John Cena versus Taker, although we've seen it on pay-per-view before, obviously, and what I'm talking about now, Vengeance 03, we haven't seen this version of John Cena from 2016, circa 2016 John Cena against The Undertaker. So that's a match I'm still waiting to see. But this was a great sneak peek of that match, and just two guys, two future icons. The Undertaker was already an icon, but a future world champion in John Cena having a great outing in defeat against The Undertaker. So after that, we had Vince McMahon taking on the one-legged Zach Gowen, and the story here was heartwarming. I could see why it was organic. It was natural. I mean, it wasn't really organic, but it was a heartwarming story. They were trying to get over Zach Gowen as this valiant superstar fighting with one leg, and it was a great feel-good story. But the match itself went a lot longer than it needed to, at 14 minutes long, and there was really only so much they could do. I mean, Zach Gowen was an amazing athlete for a guy of his disability, and Vince, though, is just really Vince. They just did not work well together, and it really didn't serve much of a purpose because, Zach already had his contract, so if he lost here, what was the point? There were no repercussions, there were no consequences. If he lost, and he lost, so why did it matter? They made the most of what they were given. Like I said, they were both very limited because Vince is not a wrestler. Zach Gowen is limited in terms of his disability. But they made the most of it. It was fine for what it was. I can't complain. And then we get to the main event, a triple threat match of the WWE Championship. Brock Lesnar defending against The Big Show and Kurt Angle. Not quite on the level of the triple threat match from the year prior, from the prior installment between Kurt Angle, Undertaker, and The Rock, but still a very good triple threat match at its best when it was down to just Brock Lesnar and Big Show, or Lesnar and Kurt Angle. Of course, that was the real feud there. Angle had just come back, and he won here, winning back his first WWE Championship since WrestleMania. And then teasing a future heel turn from Brock Lesnar. I think right before SummerSlam is when he would go heel, and they would continue their feud on into the fall when they would have that great Iron Man match on SmackDown for the WWE Championship. But really, really good stuff here. I thought the whole show was great, but this main event, it capped off the evening on a high note with a really, really good triple threat match. Great chemistry between all three guys. Even Big Show did not feel forced and thrust into the title picture. You already had history with Brock Lesnar dating back to Survivor Series, November of 2002. So all three guys had their place in this matchup. They didn't feel out of place or anything like that. So good shit. Kurt Angle, the new WWE champion, and overall a really fun show. Again, no exception from the prior two installments. Vengeance 01 was good. Vengeance 02 I thought was great. This was a good show, kind of falling somewhere in the middle. The opener I thought was awesome. The two, that match, and the tag team title match were both phenomenal. The main event was also really, really good. So overall, I would give it a thumbs up. I would definitely suggest checking out the show. Even Noble and Billy Gunn was fun for what it was, for the storyline at hand. That got a chuckle out of me. The bar brawl I thought was good for whatever the hell that was supposed to be. It was funny. And the only two, and even Taker and John Cena was really good. The only two matches, the only two blemishes on the show were Sable and Stephanie and Vince and Zach. But at least they made sense storyline-wise, even though the matches weren't, amazingly wrestled or anything along those lines. But Vengeance 02, or Vengeance 03 rather, really, really good show. Check it out on the WWE Network. So until next time, guys, on Wednesday, I think this is going up on Saturday. I'm taping these so far in advance, I really have no idea. I'm taping so far in advance, you can call me TNA, basically. But anyway, so in my next video, I'm breaking down Vengeance 2004. And until then, you guys can find me on Twitter at WrestleRant, Facebook at facebook.com/Graham.Matthews. You guys know the whole shtick by now. All the links are down below in the description box. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. All support is greatly appreciated. I'm Graham Matthews, and I'll catch you folks down the road.